Every single time I tell someone that I make my living as a day trader, they always look at me with the exact same expression. The very first words out of their mouth are usually, "Oh, you must have absolute nerves of steel," or, "Wow, you must be incredibly lucky." It always makes me smile a little bit, because that exact way of thinking is precisely what draws a massive line in the sand between the 10% of traders who find true success and the 90% who end up losing everything. Look, I've been in this game for 7 long years now, and I can tell you from the bottom of my heart that I have been through absolutely all of it. I've experienced the unbelievable high of pulling in $25,000 to $30,000 in pure profit in a single day. But I've also sat in frozen horror as a beginner, watching $115,000 evaporate from my account in a single brutal hour. I have spent thousands upon thousands of grueling hours staring at charts, entering trades, testing strategies, and reading dense research documents late into the night. And if there is one definitive truth I can offer you from all of that pain and experience, it's this. You do not need nerves of steel, and you certainly don't need luck to be a wildly successful trader. In fact, if you are sitting at your desk right now believing that you require those things, you are already walking down a deeply dangerous path. If you are tired of the emotional roller coaster and want to fast-track your journey with the exact tools and models that real professionals use to strip randomness out of the market, click below description to unlock our complete trading data and analytical software. Let's dive into the real mechanics of what's happening here and identify the root problem. Why on earth do we as humans get so incredibly emotional the second we place a trade? Well, it's entirely natural. When we put our hard-earned money on the line based on a market idea we came up with, we subconsciously view that trade as a direct reflection of our own intuition, our personal skill, or our luck. And if you are a naturally competitive human being, that carries a massive amount of weight. But why is it that a select group of people can consistently trade with calm precision month after month, while everyone else seems to completely fall apart? Let's look at a metaphor that completely changed the way I view the market. Imagine trying to cross a chaotic, busy 3-lane highway. Every single time you successfully make it to the other side, someone hands you $10,000 in cash. But the catch is, you have to navigate your way through ongoing high-speed traffic. Now, let's say 2 different people are asked to cross this exact highway. The first person is forced to wear a dark blindfold and heavy noise-canceling headphones so they cannot see or hear a single thing. The second person, however, is left entirely to their own devices, free to use their eyes, their ears, and their natural senses to cross whenever they feel comfortable. Both individuals are technically performing the exact same physical action, but one of them has an ungodly amount of danger to worry about compared to the other. If we give both of them 10 distinct attempts to make it across that highway safely, who do you think is going to be relying entirely on raw nerves, blind luck, and silly superstition? And who do you think is going to be relying on cold planning, sharp observation, and precise timing? Sure, the blindfolded person might miraculously stumble across the street safely once or twice by pure coincidence, but we all know exactly where that story ultimately ends if they try it enough times. This exact same principle rules the financial markets. Yes, you can randomly hop onto a charting platform with absolutely no plan, no training, and somehow make a quick buck as a degenerate gambler. But the trained individual who possesses a completely clear view, a crystal clear plan, and the discipline to execute that exact plan is always going to be the one standing victorious in the long term. That is the ultimate key to day trading. But does that mean we are supposed to somehow turn into unfeeling robots? Should we completely erase our emotions when we are live in the market? Think about it logically. When you are deeply uncertain about a major outcome and you have something incredibly valuable at stake, it is entirely human and logical for your body to feel stressed out and highly emotional. Trying to block out those feelings, pretending they don't exist, or forcing yourself to have nerves of steel is essentially you using pure delusion to trick yourself into feeling confident when deep down, your subconscious knows you are doing something incredibly stupid. So, instead of wasting all your mental energy trying to fight off your emotions or trying to magically fix your mindset, you need to focus entirely on fixing your fundamental process. When you fix the process, you can let your nerves operate completely normally because you know your risk is backed by sound, unshakable trading logic. Here is where most people completely trip up when they are first getting started. They find a neat-looking pattern online, throw a small chunk of money into an exchange, and immediately start clicking buttons and executing live trades. Even if they happen to get lucky running across that financial highway blindfolded a few times, it inevitably leads to massive, heartbreaking losses and completely blown up accounts. And after the disaster strikes, they are suddenly consumed by a desperate desire to consume as much information as humanly possible so they never have to experience that painful loss again. I am telling you right now, this is completely the wrong mindset to have. Expecting this chaotic style of random, idea-generated trading to work out for you over a long period of time is absolute delusion. The financial markets are a completely infinite ocean of opportunities, a place where you have an endless amount of repeatable actions that will ultimately lead to either a net profit or a net loss over a large sequence of trades. The short-term market movements are largely random, simply reflecting the mass, uncoordinated psychology of human beings. To think that you can successfully navigate an ocean of unquantifiable variables without highly precise data-driven decision-making and rigid trade management skills is like throwing a bag of plastic letters on the ground and expecting them to perfectly form a beautiful full sentence. From my experience, this chaotic approach is exactly how about 50% of all retail participants operate. If you are ready to stop guessing and want to join a structured environment where we break down the market using pure logic and daily live data, click below description to secure your spot in our private trading community. However, there's another 40% of traders who have managed to claw their way past that chaotic beginner level, yet they still find themselves stuck, unable to push through into that elite 10% who enjoy true consistency. I've looked closely at this, and more than half of the traders in this middle tier have a decent pattern they like to trade. They understand rudimentary position sizing and they know how to approach the charts with a bit of respect, but they are completely failing to precisely quantify their historical results. They aren't optimizing their edge through rigorous backtesting, and they aren't practicing absolute discipline when it comes to the nitty-gritty details of trade management. The difference in actual behavior between a highly successful professional and a struggling break-even trader is actually remarkably small. That final golden layer completely comes down to paying religious attention to the microscopic details. And all of those details live within the realm of a strictly rational approach to trading. When professional traders look at a live chart, we break everything down into constants and variables. The constants are the exact unchanging steps that we are programmed to put into place the absolute second the unpredictable variables of the market give us a specific signal to do so. You are never sitting at your desk making an emotional, spur-of-the-moment decision like, "Oh, I think this looks good," or "I have a strong feeling this asset is about to shoot up," or "Let me just throw a random amount of capital into this position and see if it goes in my direction." That is pure gambling, plain and simple. That is not trading. If you dedicate yourself to following the exact same mechanical process every single time, and you meticulously measure the mathematical outcome of that process over a large sample size of 50 to 100 trades, something incredible happens. You will no longer need to be brave. You will no longer need nerves of steel, because you already essentially know the mathematical outcome of the larger series. Sure, individual trades along the way will absolutely be losers, and others will be winners. You might experience a beautiful string of consecutive wins, or a soul-crushing string of consecutive losses. And during those losing streaks, your human brain is naturally going to get emotional. You're going to look at your screen and think that you've completely lost your touch, that your system is permanently broken, or that you need to completely scrap everything and change your strategy. But having backtested that exact system over massive amounts of historical data gives you the deep, unshakable conviction required to focus 100% of your mental energy strictly on execution technicals. It stops you from constantly questioning your system or wondering whether your individual ideas are right or wrong. It already takes an immense amount of raw brain power just to execute cleanly. You cannot afford to confuse your mind by listening to the noise of other people who are trading with pure emotion and doing random things in the market that will inevitably get them into massive trouble. This is a highly regimented mathematical formula that must be followed with zero exceptions. That formula, paired with a true understanding of the fundamentals of rational trading, is the single secret that separates the 90% from the elite 10%. When you step back and look at the entire picture, true emotionless trading looks like a beautiful, cohesive loop. You are consistently trading a system that you know, with statistical certainty, works over a long period of time. Now, I won't lie to you. This is easily the hardest part of the entire journey. At the very beginning of my career, I probably manually tested 30 to 40 entirely different trading systems. I poured hundreds of hours of intense work into testing each individual idea that I thought would make me rich, only to find out after running it through 100 or 150 historical trades that the net result was completely negative. But even if you happen to possess the most profitable chart patterns in the world, if you aren't executing them with absolute precision and master-level technical execution, you will still never find consistency. You have to track your performance day in and day out, hunting down your deficiencies and identifying your strong suits so you can systematically eliminate the stupid mistakes that are draining your capital. Understanding this exact data-driven architecture is what completely unlocked my career. It is the only reason I am now able to comfortably put on $500 worth of risk per trade to make $1,500 to $2,000 on a single move without even batting an eye or feeling my heart rate rise. This mechanical clarity is exactly how we are able to call out these high-probability setups in real time, doing it on a daily basis with the members inside our inner circle. Just this past week, we alerted out 2 full-profit trades that seamlessly locked in a massive 6.67 risk-to-reward factor. To put that into perspective, if you were a trader in our room, risking just a conservative $100 per trade, you walked away with $667 in pure profit in a single week. For me, risking my usual $500, that translated to a beautiful $3,500 gain. The dedicated team members who are actually putting these exact processes to work are watching their accounts double in 4 months, turning $1,500 accounts into $10,000 accounts, and routinely capturing 8 to 10 risk factors in a single session. If you are ready to stop behaving like a blindfolded pedestrian on a busy highway and want to start executing with the precision of an elite institutional participant using an ultra-low fee exchange that protects your net gains, click below description to access our exclusive broker partnership and community layout right now. I truly hope this breakdown brought some immense clarity to how you view the role of emotions and structure in this game. If this story resonated with you, go ahead and give the video a like, and make sure to subscribe to the channel if you are serious about mastering the markets. I can't wait to see you inside our private network, and until next time, I will see you all in the very next video.